What's up everyone, me JP2 here, and in today's video, we have a 600 subscriber celebration. So we're going to be running Attack Deoxys with Zap Cannon, and we're going to be trying to land some. Now, Zap Cannon and Attack Deoxys is the highest damaging charge move in Pokemon combination, so it one-shots basically anything. No matter how many times I use this thing, I'm still caught off guard by the sheer amount of damage it does. So it's insane. Anyways, I had to pair it up with Pidgeot on the lead just because I need to debuff the opponent's attack, otherwise Attack Deoxys just dies instantly. And then Steelix, because I needed some bulk. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Let's get into the battles. Alright, hopping into the first battle, and we lead Pidgeot into Virizion. This is an amazing lead, so I'd expect the opponent to switch out, but they don't. It looks like they're trying to make it to a Stone Edge, but we'll outpace them to a move. And since we get to debuff them, we can just live the Stone Edge. The opponent realizes this and switches out into Greninja, but this is also perfect. I should be able to get a shield from them as well, with either a Brave Bird or just baiting with the Feather Dance. I'm baiting with the Feather Dance, and if they shield this, I'm switching it. I can just bring in Attack Deoxys and farm them down. I decide not to switch in, though. I decided to force them to throw any residual energy they might have. So they go for a Night Slash. Night Slash takes out Pidgeot. We can come in with Attack Deoxys, and we will get a ton of farm. Now, they can make it to one move, but we can shield that, and we'll get a full farm down. Now, the opponent ends up bringing in Giratina Origin, and those two Shadow Claws almost take out the Glassy Deoxys. We barely live it, and they switch back into Virizion, and it's not looking good. This Virizion has back-to-back Sacred Swords, so Steelix is going to have to tank them, and I need to get them into the perfect range of health. I need 2 Poison Jabs to KO. Attack Deoxys should live the double kick from this range, and the opponent throws. If they had gone for a farm down, I could just straight up lose. But they go for the Sacred Sword, and I get the farm down, and I leave with the Zap Cannon. Does this KO? This is resisted damage onto a nearly full health Giratina Origin. Does it KO? It does! And we barely take that game. Oh my god, that's insane. Hopping into the next battle, and we lead Pidgeot into Walrein. Terrible lead, so we're going to switch into Steelix. And the opponent's staying in. I have no idea why they're staying in, but I'm just going to go for the Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs gets shielded for some reason. I have no idea what this opponent was thinking. I did get to pretty low elo doing this, so it might just be because of that. I shield the Earthquake, and I'm going to go for another Psychic Fangs. If I can take out this Walrein, I might be able to win this game, but just because how glassy Attack Deoxys is and Pidgeot's weakness to it, I do need to take it out with Steelix. They go for an Earthquake. Steelix tanks the Earthquake very well, and we're going to be able to go for another Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs gets them really low. We almost get the knockout. They then bring in Registeel, and I immediately switch into Deoxys. I don't expect them to switch out because this looks like a really good matchup. But if they debuff us with Zap Cannon, we won't be able to farm them down after our own Zap Cannon. We don't get debuffed, though. And now, this opponent has no reason to shield us. Registeel is one of the bulkiest Pokemon, but Zap Cannon takes them out. Look at that. That is my new wallpaper. And in the back, they have Giratina, and yeah, Steelix should be able to make it to a Psychic Fangs, and Psychic Fangs debuffing their defense just wins us this game. Psychic Fangs will land, debuff their defense, and the opponent actually does throw, which is even better. Dragon Claw doesn't even take out Steelix, so I switch out into Pidgeot, and I should be able to make it to plenty of moves. Even if they have Ancient Power, we'll still be able to tank a few of them. The first one's not debuffed, and they don't get a boost, thankfully, but now we can go for a Feather Dance, and even if they don't shield this, that's fine, but they do shield it. And now we'll easily live another Ancient Power. They can go for the Ancient Power, but Ancient Power will not do much. And we'll be able to make it to a Brave Bird before they're able to make it to another move. This Brave Bird will take them out because they're debuffed. So we will be able to take this game. Hopping into the next battle, and we lead Pidgeot into Crobat. If we can get a shield with a Feather Dance, that's perfect. And we should be able to outpace them to a Feather Dance before they make it to a Poison Fang, which is perfect. We go for the Feather Dance. Feather Dance will not get shielded, unfortunately, but that's fine. As long as we save shields for Attack Deoxys, it's fine. We don't... Switch Advantage is amazing, and Shield Advantage is even better, but we don't necessarily need it that much. We just hope for Shield Advantage, because it makes them less likely to shield the Zap Cannon. They bring in Giratina, and it's Dragon Breath, which means that Steelix just destroys Giratina. They can go for an Ancient Power. It's double resisted. Steelix does not care. They can keep farming out with Dragon Breaths, and since they got debuffed by the Crunch, we should be able to just farm them down. And this energy should be quite threatening into whatever they bring in. They bring in Obstagoon, though, and that's not good, but we might be able to get a shield because we have enough energy for an Earthquake. Psychic Fangs does get a shield, which is perfect, and I can go for another one. They throw a move, though, and Cross Chop will actually not take out Steelix. My high-rank Steelix coming in clutch here, and Psychic Fangs does get a debuff. That's nice, and Pidgeot can go for a Feather Dance. They're double debuffed. I'm hoping they'll shield, but they don't, and then they switch back into the Crobat. I'm just going to go right for the move, just get the shield as well. And now, hopefully, I can farm them down with Attack Deoxys. If they go for a Poison Fang, Obstagoon might be able to farm us down. But they go for a Shadow Ball, which is perfect, because we'll leave with a lot of energy. They can bring back in the Obstagoon, and they can go for a move. But Attack Deoxys will make the Zap Cannon, and Zap Cannon will be huge overkill here. But it definitely will KO, and that's what we care about. Zap Cannon annihilates Obstagoon, and we take that game. Hopping into the next battle, and we lead Pidgeot into Registeel. This looks like a terrible lead, but we outpace them to a Feather Dance, and then we live a Blizzard, so we should be able to make it to a Feather Dance and a Brave Bird, and still not get taken out before that. We go for the Feather Dance, and they get a shield, so that's amazing. I was not expecting them to shield, because Registeel is fairly bulky, but Blizzard still does a lot of damage, but we're going to live it, so it's fine. They then switch into Golisopod, and we just one-shot them, so that's fine. They then bring in the Registeel, and I immediately switch into Deoxys. I'm trying to get as much farm as possible here. They go for the Earthquake, and since I have 2 shields to hide behind, Deoxys should be able to farm them down, because Lock-On, it probably does more than 1 damage in this scenario, simply because of how Glassy Attack Deoxys is, but it doesn't do enough damage to actually threaten anything. In the back, they have Granbull, and I'm just going for the Zap Cannon. They no-shield it. I had no idea what they were thinking, but they get fully one-shot, and we take that game. Hopping into the next battle, we lead Pidgeot into another Crobat. I was shocked by how many Crobat leads I saw, but we can go for a Feather Dance right away. Feather Dance does not get shielded, but that's fine. We just need the debuff. Now they're going to go for a move here. They go for a Poison Fang, and that's fine. I'm going to be able to make it to another move, but I decide not to throw. I want to get lower, so it looks like I'm going just for a Brave Bird instead. And I'm going to farm up a lot, and I'm going to go for the Feather Dance. The opponent might shield this simply because of how much energy I have. And they do, which is perfect. I'm going for another Feather Dance because I want to try and get shields, but at the same time, I don't want to debuff myself. Unfortunately, they don't shield it, and I just bring an Attack Deoxys. Now, the opponent goes for a Poison Fang, trying to debuff our defense, but you can't really debuff something that doesn't exist, so it doesn't matter. They then switch into Cresselia, and Cresselia will make it to a move before us, and go for a Moonblast. No debuff, thank God, but we'll be able to make it to a Zap Cannon. Look at this. Zap Cannon one-shots Cresselia, and oh my goodness, was that satisfying. In the back, they have Obstagoon, though, so it looks like we're still going to lose this game, unfortunately. They can go for a move, and they go for the Obstruct, which is so much worse because our defense is now debuffed, so the counters are going to do a lot of damage. We go for a Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs gets no shield, unfortunately. And we have no charge moves that can hit them for any meaningful damage. So we just have to rely on the Dragon Tails. If they get a boost, we just straight up lose. But I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to get a catch on a Pidgeot just to reset the debuff. And I do get the catch. So that's good because it wastes their energy and resets the debuff on Steelix. But I still don't think we're going to take this game. And yeah, that counter damage is just too much. And they'll make it to a Night Slash. Night Slash will take us out from this range. And despite landing a Zap Cannon, we still lose that game. Hopping into the next battle, and we lead Pidgeot into Charizard. Now, this Charizard is running Wing Attack, so they'll win CMP, but that's fine. Me no-shielding it makes it look even more likely that I'm going for a Brave Bird, so I'm thinking they might end up shielding this Feather Dance. So I'm going to go for the Feather Dance, and if they shield it, I'm switching into Attack Deoxys. They shield it, and then I decide, after this, I wasn't, because they will have a small amount of residual energy after that Blast Burn, so forcing them to go for the Dragon Claw is a better play, in my opinion. We send in Deoxys, though, and they're going to go for a Dragon Claw. The fact that the double debuffed wing attacks get Deoxys into the yellow is just stupid, but whatever, it's fine. The opponent is going to wait out their switch clock a bit, and they send in Ampharos. And I really want this to land. Please. And no, they shield it. We do get the debuff, though, which means that Steelix will just destroy this Ampharos no matter what. But they still have another Pokemon in the back. They go for the Trailblaze, and they buff their attack. So I'm pretty sure they're probably not going to want to switch out because their attack's buffed now. Actually, wait, no, it's back to normal because we debuffed them. But I think they're not switching out because they think they did get a buff from it. At this point, I decide I can probably just farm them down. And I go for the farm down. That Dragon Tail will go through and KO them. They go for another Trailblaze. In the back, they have Swampert, and this does not look good. I go for a Psychic Fangs because I need the defense debuff, and I need to make it to a Crunch and a Psychic Fangs to take him out. Now, I was kind of confused as to why they didn't immediately switch into the Swampert the moment they saw Steelix, but I'm assuming it's probably because they buffed their attack with Trailblaze, so they didn't want to lose those buffs. The Swampert will make it to a move right after I make it to the Psychic Fangs, so if this doesn't KO, we lose, but it does KO, so we thankfully do take that game. Hopping into the next battle, and we lead Pidgeot into Greninja. Amazing lead for us, despite it being fully neutral, simply because we can probably grab a shield, simply because of how threatening Brave Bird is. I'm going to farm up and go for the Feather Dance, and this is right before they make it to another move. And from this range, a Hydro Cannon will take us out, which is perfect because they're not over farming at all here. Hydro Cannon takes us out, and I can bring in Attack Deoxys, and I'll get a lot of farm off this Greninja. Now, they should not be able to make it to another move after this, which is perfect. They go for the Night Slash, and then they switch out into their Cresselia. And look at this. We win CMP. I'm betting this opponent doesn't shield it. Do they know? Nope. Bye-bye Cresselia. And in the back, they have Toxicroak. So these counter users in the back just are going to keep wrecking my teams. Thankfully, Psychic Fangs hits for double super effective, so Steelix should be able to take this. And so the opponent shields the first one, but that means the second one is going to do even more. I was trying to save my shield because I thought that the Greninja had energy, and I shield the Mud Bomb, and the opponent comes back in with a Greninja. So the misaligned Switch Clocks will get this opponent to be able to take this game, and they make it to a move on the Steelix. I should be able to get one Poison Jab through, and it all depends on whether Attack Deoxys can live 2 counters and make it to the Psycho Boost, but it can't. The thing's just way too glassy, and we lose. Hopping into the next battle, and we lead Pidgeot into Gliscor. Now, this is a fairly neutral lead, and the opponent's going to throw straight away. So this is either an Aerial Ace or a Night Slash. The opponent goes for a Night Slash, no boost, thankfully, and this Feather Dance is guaranteed to get the debuff. You go for the Feather Dance, no shield, unfortunately, but that doesn't matter too much. Now, the opponent's going to go for another Night Slash. Now that it's debuffed, it's not going to do much. And I'm going to farm up to the Brave Bird and go for a second Feather Dance. If they no-shield this, I might even just switch out into Attack Deoxys. They throw a Night Slash, so I definitely will be switching out after this, trying to get as much extra farm as possible. I accidentally throw one more Wing Attack, and that might have just let them get to that second Night Slash, and that's a problem. The opponent then switches out into Cresselia, and because they switched out so fast, they will be able to outpace me to the Moonblast, but I really want to see another Zap Cannon land, so I'm going to shield this. Even if they do shield this, I should be able to win CMP on a Psycho Boost and get some nice damage off. They do shield the Zap Cannon, which is unfortunate, but we do win the CMP tie. So maybe this can force their second shield. And we do get their second shield. That Psycho Boost still would have done a lot of damage, so that's why they shielded. They go for the Moonblast, but now we just have Steelix to destroy Cresselia. So this opponent can go for a move, but Steelix will easily tank it. They go for a Moonblast, Steelix lives it easily, and I can overfarm by quite a bit here and go for a Crunch. Crunch will take them out from this range, so we get the KO, and what do they have in the back? They have a Jellicent. So running Crunch is very nice here because 2 Crunches plus the Dragon Tail should be able to almost take them out, especially when we get a defense drop. I'm expecting them to switch out to clear the debuff at some point, but it doesn't look like they are. We will lose CMP on the next Crunch, but that's fine. Steelix does live this. Barely, but it does live it. And we should have enough HP to live a few Wing Attacks from the Gliscor and get them low. Crunch barely doesn't take up the Jellicent, but Steelix is able to farm both of them down, and we take that game. Pretty good lead in the next battle. We lead Pidgeot into Cresselia. Now, the thing about Pidgeot is that since we'll be able to debuff them, Psycho Cuts will do virtually nothing to Attack Deoxys. So this Feather Dance will do some nice stuff for us, because that debuff means that Moonblast won't do as much damage to us, and the Psycho Cuts will not do anything to Attack Deoxys. Now, they go for the Moonblast, and they get the debuff. That does not look good, but that's actually fine, because 2 Brave Birds still takes them out, And since they're going to have to throw another one if they don't want to get taken out by the second Brave Bird, then we'll be able to have more farm because of that debuff. So the debuff actually works in our favor. They have to throw another Moonblast because that Brave Bird would still take them out, and they have a little bit of more HP for Attack Deoxys to farm. Now, we can go and try and go for a farm down. They will make it to a Grass Knot, but Attack Deoxys lives. It might live it, but I don't want to risk it. And the opponent then sends in a Greninja. I bank Zap Cannon, hopefully it'll be useful later. And the opponent is going to go for a move on the Greninja. Now, Steelix does tank any one move unless it's Hydro Pump, but they're not running that. And they go for the Hydro Cannon. Now, I lose CMP on the second one, which is really unfortunate because I did not want to use that shield. But I should be able to get a shield back from them, because if that was a breaking swipe, they'd get taken out pretty much. The opponent has Virizion in the back, and it just looks like it's over at this point. The opponent goes for a Leaf Blade, and Steelix lives that. Now, I'm hoping that they'll shield this because they saw it was a Psychic-type move, but they no-shield it, and there's just not really much we can do. We can go for the Zap Cannon for BM, and the opponent no-shields it, so wait, is there a chance? Wait, Attack Deoxys could farm him down, but no, the Greninja lives on 1 HP. They make it to a Night Slash, and they take out Attack Deoxys, and we barely lose that game. Overall, this thing's just so much fun to use. It does require a massive elo sacrifice if you want to use it, but I'm fine with that. I have a very good team for climbing, so if I want to get my elo back, I can probably get it back pretty fast. So I'm not really bothered by that. The Zap Cannon damage is just insane, and I don't really know what Niantic was thinking. They're probably just saying, like, hey, if you can make it to a Zap Cannon, you can one-shot anything, so go ahead and try. And try I did, and I did succeed. Now, in the previous Zap Cannon video, the main problem was that it was really only up against Swamperts and Cresselias, and I wanted to show a bit more variety of Pokemon that it can one-shot, because Cresselia and Swampert only go so far for showing damage. Now, like, when you one-shot a Registeel, that's even cooler. But, like, it's just not as interesting when there's just only Cresselias and Swamperts, so having a wider variety of Pokemon does make it a bit more fun, in my opinion. Remember that I am going to release a part 2 if this video gets to 500 likes, so make sure to like this video, and also make sure to subscribe, so if I do get a part 2 out, you won't miss it. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for 600 subscribers, and I will see you guys in the next one.